This is Steve Ridgel, and sometimes a little help from my dog Remy, who's running around here under my chair. But I thought I'd talk a little bit today about why I go to church. Now, I'm going to tell you first off, it's not because you have to. That's not why I go to church. But there are three reasons why I do go to church that I think I'll share with you. Maybe it'll inspire you to go because sometimes I don't want to go to church. I don't feel like going to church. But here's the three reasons I do. One is about communion. I think there's something powerful about being with other Christians, whether it's just a small number. I mean, Marcia and I have done communion together. I've done it with my family where there's 10 or 12 of us. I've done it in crowds of 10,000 where I was preaching. But there's something about being with other Christians and taking communion, because communion, as Paul says in 1 Corinthians, is very much where we declare the Lord's death until he comes. I think it's important for me to be with somebody on a Sunday. I don't care if the preaching's bad, the singing's bad, everything it's hot, it's uncomfortable. It doesn't matter, because I'm coming together to say, those of us that are here are making a statement that we believe that Jesus died for our sins and that God's coming back, sending him back to take us home. Number two, I go because sometimes I get an unexpected blessing. I really believe that when you go to church, God shows up. When you do public worship, when God's people meet, he shows up, and sometimes he does amazing things. It may be not sung well, but sometimes there's just a song that touches me. Or in the middle of a long, boring sermon where I'm not really paying attention, one thing gets said that strikes me. Or I flip open my Bible, and there's a verse that I read in a whole new different way. Or sometimes it's an exciting sermon or a fantastic song. But almost every time I go to worship, something happens that turns my heart a little bit more toward God. And that's valuable to me. And I really like it when it's unexpected and I don't know what it is. And I go to church because, well, sometimes when I go worship, I realize my brothers and sisters needed me. I'm going to tell you, you don't know what it means to the lonely person sitting there when you come by and smile and say, how you doing? You don't know what it means to them when you say, do you mind if I sit here? And you never know what that pat on the back. There are people that come to worship who are battling their addictions, who are having trouble in their marriage, who are worried to death about their kids. There's all sorts of people that show up and worship. And your encouragement, your example, may make all the difference to them. It matters. Sometimes you being at worship changes somebody else. It doesn't just change you, and when you don't go, well, you lose that opportunity. So I go to worship whether I want to or not, because it's important to declare with other Christians we believe in the gospel. I go to church because I go to worship because some never know when you're going to change somebody else. Oh yeah, one fourth little thing for me. Well, I go to worship because I'm on staff at Hillcrest, and it's awkward if I don't. But the first three are the ones that really matter.